Hello, is that McGowan's Taxis? Yes, straight away please. I'm on the High Street. Going to Nottingham. Yep, it's Bostock. Okay mate, I'll be waiting in the ice cream shop. Cheers buddy, see you soon. He sounded familiar. Let's go and wait for him. Let's have a quick look on YouTube while we're waiting. Ooh, Chunky Mark's uploaded another video. Let's see what he's got to say.
You know, the Tories are using narratives where you don't even know what these words mean anymore.
Unlike his narrative, where anyone who takes issue with the experiment of mass migration is a racist xenophobe. Which doesn't mean much if you're going to call half the British public racist xenophobes when we're the most multiracial country in the world.
Brexit means Brexit, and xenophobia means xenophobia. Do you understand? It's about hate.
I mean, what words are you going to use when you meet an actual racist? You're going to need something more potent. And there ain't much else to choose from, pal.
Like Muslims and asylum seekers and refugees and the free movement of people. Refugees fleeing war and economic disaster and the free movement of people has purposely been conflated into one group.
Leave it out. Both Labour and Conservative do that. But mainly the left do it. And people see that there's very little control over these groups' movements. And it's hard to distinguish who's who and what people's intentions are when they arrive here. But besides that, you of all people are complaining about conflating everyone into one group, when in virtually every video you've uploaded recently you're conflating all Brexit voters into a group of racists. I mean, racists though, discriminating against people based on their physical characteristics. Well no, that is not what's going on.
Free movement of people is citizens of Europe.
Well, Europe has a population of 508 million. If people can move here freely, how are we supposed to plan for services, housing, benefits? Makes no sense.
Only the UK sees anyone other than themselves, British exceptionalism, other than themselves, as a migrant, as an immigrant.
Well, yes. That's exactly what a migrant is. Somebody migrating here who isn't a British citizen. Like, hello?
As a refugee, as a Muslim, as a person of colour, what is that?
POCs have been coming to Britain at a manageable level for over 70 years. POCs aren't seen as immigrants anymore. You're so out of touch with what most people think that you've convinced yourself in your little London bubble that we all hate black people now. That's mental.
Good morning, ma'am. And isn't it a lovely morning?
Up yours, nigger.
It's racist, xenophobic narratives winning politics in 2017.
No, it's not. It's discontent with the government and its policies that's caused the rise of the right. We the people were never asked if we wanted a mass movement of people or cultures to come to our precious society. And I say precious because it is a precious gift. More precious than any ancient relic or monument, and we don't treat it like that. We squander it whilst drunk on entertainment fed to us by socialists. What's going on is a massive disservice and an insult to the folk who built this society over the last 300 or 400 years.
Because the words, the performative utterances have been morphed.
You're a hypocrite, aren't you? You throw out all the toxic utterances, the buzzwords, the far-left slogans and bigotry. All unconfirmed bias in every single video, Mark. We know most migrants aren't taking the piss. We know most Muslims aren't terrorists and rapists, and most taxi drivers aren't cunts. But there are always exceptions. And it's the exceptions that are the problem. There are too many exceptions.
Brexit, the Tories, Trump, Marine Le Pen, all the same movement. The unwillingness to challenge the narratives, to say Theresa May is the same brand of politics as Donald Trump.
What? It's the People's Movement youth. Those you mentioned have capitalised on the already existing concerns of the people and gave them a voice. But you claim the opposite. You claim that Trump, Le Pen, UKIP and the Tories have somehow brainwashed people into becoming more right-wing. Your rhetoric is fueling the rise of the right. Your inability to debate and have a rational look at the situation without your precious feelings and your ideologies getting in the way is making the left look so ridiculous and dangerous.
It's where the main political commentators too scared and the politicians are losing the rise of the right. And it's why Brexit is the Tories' weapon of choice. Low taxes for the rich, low pay for the rest, defund public services, sell assets, blame migrants.
No. We blame the government's immigration policy when we clearly can't cope with the rising tide of immigrants. Something you can't accept because it challenges your everyone's a racist worldview, and having your views challenged is tough for a lot of girls. Immigrants are clearly undercutting the jobs market for a start. Obviously lots of them are here to claim benefits, get houses and healthcare. I mean, who wouldn't? I've covered the evidence of this in other videos. You are dangerously assuming that they're all here with good intentions and to contribute, based on nothing but your feelings that we're all somehow morally responsible for everyone. We aren't.
Garvin Walsh in the Twitter exchange. You know what he said yesterday? I was in the 2005 Tory campaign. We worked assiduously to ramp up anti-immigrant feeling. You're like, you what?
And here's Mark ramping up anti-British feeling.
This is purposeful. He followed it with, and from Brown on, nobody challenged lies that immigrants took jobs or were here on benefits. People don't even know what the words mean. How awful that we live in a world that we have a Prime Minister who believes it's okay for her political ambitions and her parties and those backing it, that they will turn people against people.
People against people? I'm like, you what? That's what you're doing right now, when you should be putting argument up against argument. Politics has always put people up against people. It divides, and trade unites. And how awful is it that we live in a world where not everyone has good intentions and ought to be thoroughly checked and vetted before being allowed into our dying communities?
How utterly despicable! How disgusting! What kind of people would do this? Tories!
And the left do that. Let's get some balance here, please, thank you.
And where are those fighting back? Because people are being affected. People are being hurt.
People are fighting back against the cultural Marxist agenda that's been adopted by Labour and Conservative governments. I mean, what a mess they've made. People are being hurt by the immigration policy also. Small businesses are being hurt by the massive swamps of unnecessary EU regulation. You have a massive blind spot, Mark. You've built ideological walls up around you and you can't see what's going on. My bloody taxi here yet. Nobody cares about the name calling anymore, because they don't recognise the communities anymore. They see that there aren't enough skilled jobs for everyone. They see the wages being depressed. They see foreign gangs beating people up. They see young girls being groomed by Muslim and Pakistani grooming gangs. And they say, no, we've had enough. Stop the immigration. Put British people first. And that is the consequence of being ignored. Or even asked if we wanted this in first place. The working class communities have no responsibility for refugees or migrants. They're responsible for their own families and the community. So nobody cares about the name calling. Nobody cares about your precious feelings, because that's all this is to you. So you can feel better. The far left, whilst their hearts are in the right place, hold the most repulsive, the most callous and authoritarian views. And we have to fully defeat it. Mark, you will be defeated. My taxi's here. I've got to go. Keep it real. I'll catch you in a bit. Peace, love and Gandhi.